What's up, guys? Welcome to the Aries Moto, home of the quick and easy where nothing is cooked. Definitely not easy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, Old Man and I, we are working on this. As you just saw, Old Man is removing that little plate that is completely unnecessary for our project because this is going to be a cafe racer and we need to fill that little thing, the hole. We're gonna have to grind a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so step number one, removing that is done. Now Old Man's gonna put a Bondo filler. I'm gonna clean that out and then we're gonna pull the dent and we'll show you how to pull the dent. That's gonna be the video for today. Okay, so for this job you definitely gonna need a stud welder. This is the Stinger, this is the Canadian. Old Man ended up paying a lot of money for this one. There's different features for different ones, but I think there's one at Harbor Freight. It's not as powerful as this one. I think it's very cheap compared to what we paid for this one. Worth the money, worth the money. If you can borrow one from your friend, go ahead, do so. Save yourself a little bit of money. So what Old Man's gonna end up doing is this gun welds this studs. All right, so he's gonna weld a few studs here, pull it up, and then bang with the hammer around so the metal comes up and stays up. So it's not, because this is something square. You can see how it was hit, and then it pressed. Once metal gets inside, this around bubbles up, so you want to tack it or hit it with a hammer around so the metal comes up, which Old Man's gonna show you right now. And that was it. That was really it. Okay, so this is the one by hand. As you can see, he's welding those studs right on those edges, and then one in the middle. Slowly popping out. So you don't want to pull too much, huh? As you can tell, he's looking where the little holes are little pockets, and then trying to pull it up, make it as even as possible, even though it's really hard. The gas tank. Yeah, you need to do it by hand, not too much, so you can control how much force you put on, because you don't want to bend it other way. You want to be careful when you're using that gun. You don't want to burn through. Very thin metal, very easy to burn through. Okay, so that's a flat one. So I'm holding this so the metal doesn't bend back while it takes hammer and slightly everything that's sticking out, slowly, lightly push it back in. Okay, so by grinding, you discover these little pockets where you need to pull it up. It's a little dent. Little pockets, yeah.
Almost 80%.
So you got one right here. Like right there.
There is not shine. See, that's not shine. Not shine. Not shine. Not shine. That's
Okay, so before you do anything to the gas tank, if you take it straight out of your bike right now and there's gas a little bit inside and you pour it out, put water inside, because and leave it open. Like, don't close it. Leave it open and put a little bit of water inside, because you can still have a vapor inside of the engine or inside of the gas tank, and it can blow. Ask him. He did it a couple times. Okay, so It's nice and shiny and pretty with the patina a little bit cleaned. So right now the old man will use the metal aluminum reinforced body filler for like a little dents that are around. Okay, so this is Evercoat metal to metal. And why are we using this? This is expensive. Don't think this is cheap. This is actually pretty expensive. And the only reason why we are using that, first of all, it's metal to metal, which means it gets reinforced and it won't crack on the sun. Because if you're using a lot of filler, like a lot of people do, filling up the holes after you put a paint and everything, it looks good. It looks good for a little bit, but then sun hits it, dries it up real bad, and then hot, cold, and cracks. And you can see that. So to recap, number 1, you're gonna have to sand it down or grind it down to the bare metal. Number 2, you're gonna have to use a stud welder like this one to pull the dents out. Number 3 would be grind it down again after you do the bottom metal work to make sure it's smooth and all the holes are as flat as possible. And then step number 4, I think, for those that are counting, is to use metal to metal body filler as little as possible. Once you put it on, let it dry overnight, sand it, refill, make sure it's like all smooth, and then put a primer, sand down again and again and again. There's like 5-6 times you're gonna have to sand it down before you get smooth. Yeah, and blocking is the last before you put paint. And that's let's say you put a gray primer or white or gray primer, and then you take black primer can and put a light coat on top, and then you sand, and wherever the black primer is still left over, you need to use a little bit more body filler and then sand it down again. Put a black primer, light coat, sand it again, and then as long as it's smooth and there's no more black primer, that means it's really flat, it's really good shape. But that's for another video. If you want to see Honda CB750 Super Sport being brought to the full glory, there's going to be a little link right here popping up, and I'm gonna do the full how to make a custom cafe racer gas tank in the description, or also right here. I'm just gonna do the time lapse for this, everything like from the get-go. So check those out and see you in the next video.